It's time for bird of the day. Welcome everybody to bird of the day. We're gonna talk about a bird today. And what bird is it today? Well, I was inspired on Thursday from my video game playing with Lampy. We were talking about rhinos and birds. On the rhinos, what bird were we talking about? She said, let me know, and I didn't know, so I looked it up, and I found about the red-billed oxpecker. Look at him. Look at that red-billed oxpecker. What a cool little bird. Look at him there. Wonder why they're called red-billed. I wonder why. Yeah. That's the bird. You know, you're talking about birds that you see on the backs of rhinos, but not just rhinos. Lots of different animals. We're talking about the red-billed oxpecker. Oh, pretty cute little guys. Look at them. Look at that goofy little face. Like bright, colorful eyes and beaks. I like them. And you see a little bit back of a zebra there. You see it not a zebra. A Z-bird. All right, well, let me tell you a little about red-billed oxpecker. So they're 7 to 9 inches long, and no matter how much I looked, I could not find information on their wingspan. Nobody had any information on their wingspan. All my regular bird sites, they're like, well, it's 7 to 9 inches long. And some said they're like 8 inches long. And he's like, I mean, the whole range. I found different variances for their lengths on a bunch of different websites too, but 7 to 9 seemed to be the pretty typical one. And there's a period missing there on weight. It's not 1.5 to 21 ounce. There are no oxpeckers that weigh 21 ounces. It should be 2.1 ounces. But yeah, the wingspan, who knows? My best guess is that their wingspan is probably about 15 inches, but you know, it's hard to say. And these birds, they think that they live up to 15 years, but again, there wasn't a whole lot of data on their lifespan. These are birds that actually haven't been that well tracked. They haven't banded very many of them, and so the information on them is actually pretty hard to find. It's interesting. But they do say that there was one specimen that they did record living up to 15 years. So that's about as long as they can live. But being a small, medium-sized passiform, based on other birds of similar size and lifestyle, we can assume that their average lifespan is probably between 3 to 6 years. But maybe a little bit longer, because they are very flocky birds. And flocky birds do much better than solitary birds. But as you can see, this is an African bird, which you probably figured out when you saw that it sits on rhinos and zebras and giraffes. So you're going to find these guys out in the savannah. They are savanna birds. They like the grassland areas of Africa, where you're going to find a lot of the herding animals. That's kind of where I like to hang out. So I like the grasslands where the big animals like to live. But they are passiform, and their family is, they're actually in a family with one other bird that is also an oxpecker. So those two birds make up the entire family. So they're kind of unique within the passiform thing. Only two birds in the whole family. I maybe could have done the yellow-billed oxpecker with this one too, is because they're pretty similar birds. But whatever, I'm talking about the red-billed today because they're the more common one. They're the one that's more striking. But yeah. Well, striking. Yes, they are striking. So, actually, pretty interesting bird. So, we're talking about, like, what's the bird we always see on rhinos? Well, it is the red-billed oxpecker, but they definitely don't keep themselves just to rhinos. In fact, they were most commonly named for being on oxen and other big, like those big bull oxes and stuff like that. That's what they were most famous for being on. But as you can see, they hang out on the back of a giraffe. They hang out on a deer, or like an ibex, or a wildebeest, or a hippo, or basically any large furred animal they like to be on top of. That's what they do. Because that's, that's just kind of what they do, is they sit on there and they eat the insects that are crawling along or making it. So, like they've got like ticks or fleas or even just flies, any kind of bug that's gonna be hanging out on the back of a furred animal. These guys are gonna come up there and they're gonna be like nibble, 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 gonna eat them up, eat them up, eat them up. Uh, but in Swahili, they do definitely take notice of them being on rhinos. In fact, the Swahili name for them is the Askari wa Kifaru, and that stands for the Rhino's Guard. And so they're called that because these guys have much better. Rhinos don't have rhinos are very nearsighted. They don't have good long distance vision, but what the oxpecker does. And so if there's a predator coming along, they will let out a predator call, and the rhinos have learned what that predator. Because the birds are telling all their friends. They don't care about the rhino. They're calling their other bird friends saying, "Hey, predators nearby. Be wary." But the rhino has learned to pick up on this and been like, "Oh, is he lying over there? Oh, well, I better be alert and get ready to defend myself." And so yeah, they do that nice beneficial thing for the rhino. So they clear it of ticks, and they warn it of danger. So you could say it's like, hey, is this a symbiotic relationship? Is this beneficial both ways? Kinda. Kinda. So here's the thing. These birds can be kind of a pain in the ass for the animals too. If the animal happens to have a cut or a sore, well, the red-billed oxpecker isn't against being like, oh, maybe I'm gonna take some of this blood here for myself. And they are known to peck into open wounds and sores to drink the blood of the large animal, which, as you can imagine, for the large animal, probably doesn't feel very good. That probably kind of hurts. Probably very irritating. Yeah, and so they can actually make it, since they're reopening existing wounds, they can actually make it a lot longer for that wound to heal, and in some cases can even cause it to become infected. So it's a little parasitic when it comes to that particular way of doing things. But yeah, they're gonna go for any bodily fluid they can. So they've actually found that nursing mothers of mammalian species have they've seen these birds cling to the udders and like drink the milk out of them too. And some animals just really don't like them on them. Elephants, if they land on an elephant, that elephant is going to use its trunk and it's going to swat these guys right off. Elephants ain't having none of that. And some animals tolerate them, but other animals really don't like them on there and are going to try and brush them off. They don't want birds landing on their back. So some animals definitely seem to tolerate it more than other, and that's why like the big oxen and rhinos are the most famous for having these on it, because they've got big, thicker, tougher skin, doesn't hurt them as much, they get more benefits out of it, and they're just not as quick of animals for getting them off of there. So yeah, yeah, like the deer and the giraffes, but especially the elephants. Elephants ain't gonna have none of that. None of that. Get off me, bird. Get bad bird. Yeah, hit you with my trunk. Yeah. I like elephants. Elephants are lovely. One of my favorite animals. Like if I had to make like top 5 animals that are not birds, elephants would be on there. They're pretty great. I love elephants. And they're great animals. So smart. So lovely. They're just wonderful animals. But they don't like they don't like the oxpecker. I mean, can't really blame them. I wouldn't want a little guy pecking all over me. I want a little hummingbird landing on my back and being like, "Hey, can I just peck your open sore here so it doesn't heal?" Yeah, I wouldn't like that. Wouldn't like that. But these guys, very social birds. So in the breeding season, which is usually the rainy season, they kind of pair up. Pair up for a season. They don't mate for life. They find one mate per season, per clutch. And they kind of stick together at that point. But when they're not breeding and there's no babies in the nest, they big flocks could be hundreds of oxpeckers strong, and they're gonna fly around. Like you could have a pack of a big herd of animals, and you could have an accompanying flock of oxpeckers that go along with them. So that's pretty neat that they often see that, where a flock will follow a herd. I mean, it makes sense, right? But then when they do build their nests, they build almost entirely out of hair and fur. Not that they find on the ground, but that they pluck directly from the animals. So again, another reason, maybe the animals don't like the oxpecker so much. Because like there's this giraffe up there, you look at his face. Those Oxpeckers might be taking his mane and being like, they're like, we're gonna use this for our nest. And he's like, don't do that to me. I got a long neck. No, I can't reach back there. Yeah, it's what they do. It's what they do. But they have, yeah, must have very nice, warm, and cozy nests. They have 2 to 5 eggs per clutch, but 4 and 5 is pretty rare. It's almost always 3. Almost always 3. And yeah, not a whole lot of information about their mating rituals. They believe it is more song based, as males and females look almost identical. Can't really tell too much between the males and the females of the species. So it's not as much. I mean, yeah, color matters a little bit, but yeah, so a lot of their mating habits not too well known. It seems like there hasn't been a lot of real research done on these guys, but I mean, what they're known for, boy, they are known for. It's pretty great. Sitting on big animals. So my thoughts, see what I mean there? Or does this Oxpecker look guilty? He's like, well, I wasn't pecking the giraffe. What are you talking about? Why are you taking a picture of me? I wasn't doing nothing wrong. Or maybe he's like, oh crap, I'm caught. Caught me pecking the giraffe. You know, I wasn't supposed to peck this giraffe, but I'm pecking the giraffe. My thought though, I kind of like these guys. They're pretty cool looking. I think it's neat they can make friends with big animals. I mean, I like big animals. I want to hang out on the back of a giraffe. Giraffes are cool. Elephants, cool. But then you get hit by a trunk if you land on them. The rhinos? Rhinos, super cool. Not the tank of the animal world. So yeah, I kind of like the red-billed oxpecker. I think they're a pretty neat bird. And I think they're a very pretty bird, and I'm really glad I researched them and tried to figure out what the rhino bird was, because yeah, I know I'd heard of these guys before, but it was really fun researching them and lots of cool stuff. And I forgot, I have a video. I have a video. I'm gonna play that video right now. Just give me a second. I'm gonna play that video. Let me get that video up for you. Oh man, I almost missed a video. God, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? All right. All right, now is it going to resize itself like it always does? Yep. Fuck you. Yeah. All right, see? See, look on there. Hopping around on the rhino. Going, oh, yeah. Another thing I forgot to mention. They eat earwax. That's another bodily fluid they eat. They like earwax, and apparently it helps aid with their digestion, which seems really weird. But I'm not sure. I mean, this rhino doesn't seem to like that there's a bird climbing inside his ear and trying to eat his earwax. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I gotta say, I like these guys. They're good little birds. Fun little guys. But, you know, hey guys, maybe lay off the open source. That's kind of rude. That's kind of rude. But overall, a very good bird. That was a fun one to learn about. So that's a pretty good bird of the day. So we're going to wrap this one up. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And we'll get back. We're doing some art today. Hey, Lil, let me whisper in your ear. Tell me something you might like. Thanks, Bentai. I'll appreciate that reference. Alright, let's get back to the art.